Good morning. Today's October 25th, 2023. I hope you all are doing well. I'm sitting at a park and there's a pretty lake behind me. How beautiful God's creation is, and I lift up everyone who's watching. I pray for the truck driving community. I rejoice with you in the areas of rejoicing in your life and in the hardships. I pray that you would experience God's comfort and God's love and love from your fellow brothers and sisters in the Lord. Again, the letter of the Hebrews was written for Hebrews and for the Jews, and it was written as a word of encouragement. No one knows who wrote the book of the Hebrews, but whoever it was, they were writing to the Hebrews, to the Jews, giving those first Jewish followers of Jesus a word of encouragement. So far we've looked at faith, hope, and love. Today we're looking at joy. There's a couple times in the letter to the Hebrews that the word joy is mentioned. The bottom line up front, joy or reconciliation. So I really believe that the message in the Bible, that the message in this letter of joy, it's all about reconciliation. It's all about being reconciled to God, the Father, through Jesus. So the whole thing with joy is being reconciled. In reconciliation, it creates, it generates, it produces, and it initiates joy. Where does this reconciliation come from? How are we reconciled to God the Father? You may remember Adam and Eve were the first two humans created, and they had a choice. God told them there's two trees in the middle of the garden and not to eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So they had a choice, and oftentimes I believe that choice was given so love would be able. Without a choice, maybe it's more like a robotic relationship. But God placed a choice in the garden, and He really wanted Adam and Eve to obey and just to enjoy the relationship with Him. Well, they didn't, so there was you may have heard the fall of man. Man became sinful because of that act of disobedience. But God really wants us to be reconciled to Him. Henceforth the joy. So Hebrews 1:3, there's 3 verses in Hebrews that I'm going to be reading right now. It's Hebrews 1:3. After He had provided purification for sins, He sat down at the right hand of the Majesty in heaven. So after Jesus had provided purification for sin, and that was because of His obedience, His sinless life that He lived, the perfect life that He lived, being the perfect sacrifice and going through the cross. Hebrews 7:19-20. We have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. It enters the inner sanctuary behind the curtain, where Jesus, who before us has entered on our behalf. He has become the high priest. In Hebrews 10:14, because by one sacrifice He has made perfect forever those who are being made holy. Another verse in Hebrews that speaks of joy, it says that God anointed Jesus, His Son, with the oil of joy. And that's in Hebrews 1:9. There's a verse that I heard when I was younger, and I really feel like I just had a good grasp on it over the past month or so, reading and studying the letter to the Hebrews. But it's the verse in the Old Testament. Nehemiah 8:10, it says, "For the joy of the Lord is my strength." And that's when Ezra, the prophet, was reading, or the priest was reading the word of the Lord. And Nehemiah, he stated, "For the joy of the Lord is my strength." And I heard that verse for years and years and years, and I really think I have a good grasp on it now. I probably did then, but reading the letter to the Hebrews, I really feel like I have it now. And that's what we're going to be talking about. So the main verse that captures the joy and the love that Jesus has for you, it's Hebrews 12:2. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. It's all about relationship, for the joy set before him. And I really believe, and I found it also in other commentaries, and I'll refer to one here in a second, but it's all about relationship. It's kind of like vice versa, as a parent to a child or child to a parent. You know, a lot of times as a parent, you may do things that you may not necessarily want to do, maybe, or it may be a great sacrifice to your time or resources. But it's for the joy that your child is going to experience, or it's the joy of the relationship between you and your child just being really strengthened, and just really seeing the smile on your child's face when you do something for them. You know, it's for the joy set before us as parents, the joy that we're going to experience, that our child is going to experience. Sometimes we may do something that's not too joyful. And in the same way, I've seen it with a child to a parent. One of my early experience of learning, Safrant, I think was his name. He was from, I think, Central America. He was a private first class, and he gave part of his paycheck to his mother and his family because they were struggling financially. And he has such a joy of doing that act, of giving part of his income to his mom, where he was taking care of her mom. And it seemed like a very joyful experience for him. Well, in the same way, for the joy set before Jesus, for the joy set before him, he endured the cross. And out of the Bible's interpreter commentary that I refer to quite a bit, it states this: Jesus accepted the cross and its shame because of the true joy which lay ahead. The author of Hebrews conceives or thinks of the sufferings and shame of Jesus not as a renunciation or a rejection of heavenly joy, but as a way to it for him and for us. God joyfully created you for relationship with him, others, and his creation. Jesus endured the cross for the joy of our purification from our sins, reconciliation with God, and fellowship with him in heaven. That joy that God experiences, that is the joy of the Lord is our strength. Our joy is initiated by God's joy for us. You know, there's a verse that says he loved us, or we love him because he first loved us. And we have joy because he first experienced joy for us. So that's where the joy comes from. It was that reconciliation, that restored relationship between mankind and the creator of mankind. God bless you. I hope that was an encouragement. May you experience the joy, and may his joy comfort you in your hard times, and may it help you celebrate in times of rejoicing. God bless you wherever you are. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.